From mysterious children to an experiment gone horribly wrong, we bring you 8 of the scariest urban legends.
Number 8. Black-eyed children.
These kids are not settling by any means. There have been numerous reports throughout the world of a set of 2 children with solid black eyes requesting access to homes, cars, and the like from whoever is occupying them. Apparently, they cannot enter without your permission, and God only knows what will happen if you do.
Number 7. Don't turn on the light.
2 roommates, Meg and Julie, were invited to a party near midterms. Julie, being studious, decided not to go and instead chose to study in the dorm for the big test. Meg decided to go out and party since the boy she liked was going to be there. Eventually, Meg came home and didn't want to turn on the lights in fear of waking Julie. The next day, she was horrified to witness that written on the wall in Julie's blood was a sentence reading, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the lights?" Someone had murdered Julie while Meg was still inside the apartment.
Number 6. The Smiling Man.
The Smiling Man is an urban legend in the Seattle area. There have been reports that a dancing man in a faded suit roams the streets in the early hours of the night. The man has a constant smile across his face and stalks people as he stares up into the sky.
Number 5. The Clown Statue.
The young girl is babysitting for her family in Newport Beach, California. The family is wealthy and has a very large home. The father explains that the babysitter should watch TV in a specific room after the kids go to bed, as he doesn't want her wandering around the house. Soon after the kids are asleep, the girl attempts to watch the TV, but is weirded out by a clown statue in the corner of the room. She can't ignore it and ends up calling the father to ask to switch rooms. The man was terrified and said to go next door with the kids and call 911, explaining that they don't actually have a clown statue, and the kids had mentioned that a clown was watching them as they slept. The clown was later apprehended and was discovered to be a homeless midget who would really watch the kids as they slept, and was living in the huge house for months undetected. True or not, this is one creepy legend.
Number 4. Dead Boyfriend.
The couple is on the way to an event when the car runs out of gas in the middle of nowhere. The man gets out of the car and says to the girl to stay while he goes out to get help. A little while later, the girlfriend sees a shadow in front of the windshield. It isn't her boyfriend though, but a crazed man holding his head. She closes her eyes and hopes that it's just her imagination. When she opens them back up, she's horrified when the man on the window is not only real, but is also holding the keys to the car in his left hand.
Number 3. Bunny Man.
The story of the Bunny Man has its roots in Virginian lore. In 1904, a local mental asylum was shut down. The government made arrangements to have all the patients transferred, but the bus carrying them crashed, killing some on impact. One man was never found, Douglas Griffin. Carcasses of rabbits were discovered in the surrounding area. They had been skinned and partially consumed. It gets weirder when you discover that Griffin had killed his wife and children on Easter Sunday. There have been reports since 1970 of a man adorned in a bunny costume wielding an axe, according to locals. Despite dying by a police chase, people assume that the eerie figure is that of Griffin. The legend of the Bunny Man still stands strong.
Number 2. The Midnight Game.
This game is definitely not one to play at parties. It must be played exactly at 12 a.m. or else nothing will happen. To play, one must write their full name on a blank piece of paper and put a single drop of your blood upon it. You then turn all the lights in your location off and put the piece of paper in front of the door. Light a candle with a match or a lighter and place that on top of the paper. Knock on the wooden door exactly 22 times. All of this has to be done before 12:01 hits. You then open the door, blow out the candle, and close the door again. You then need to reignite the candle once more. Congratulations! You've now let the Midnight Man into your room. The object is to survive the presence of the Midnight Man. Keep your candle with you at all times and relight it within 10 seconds if it goes out. If it does go out, it means that the Midnight Man is near. Failure to relight in the allocated time means you must put a circle of salt around you. Otherwise, the Midnight Man will be with you forever and haunt your dreams.
Number 1. Russian Sleep Deprivation Experiment.
The legend takes place in 1940s Russia, where Soviet scientists imprisoned and gassed 5 inmates within an airtight room to study the effects of prolonged sleep deprivation. The prisoners became mentally unstable, and one inmate was eventually discovered lifeless with chunks of his flesh ripped off and stuck in the floor drain. The rest of the subjects were all mutilated in some shape or form, all of which were self-inflicted. One of the researchers killed the remaining subjects out of fear and shot his commanding officer for wanting to continue with the project. The plausibility of this legend and the gruesome details surrounding the experiment definitely make this number 1 on our list.